Hello, hello, السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم, مرحبا بكم everyone. Hello, hello, salam. صوت مليح? Okay, good, good. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum, Amina. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm sorry I'm late.
No problem. I just went live, actually.
Very good.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very good.
Alhamdulillah. Doing well, alhamdulillah. Okay, we have a few more people joining. How is the weather over there, Amina?
It's cold, it's rainy,
Oh,
it's winter already. But when you look at the colors of the leaves and the trees, you experience fall the way we used to, see it in children's books. So
that's so true.
the different colors of autumn and
Yeah,
it's very beautiful.
very nice. It's still pretty sunny over here, California. Very little chilly, but hot. So
Well, I think you have 2 seasons in California, don't you?
yeah, if we're lucky. If we're lucky. I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't like the cold, but still, I had enough of it in Kansas already. So, yes, we have more people. Okay, yes, people saying, I want to learn English. People saying Tahya Palestine. Yes, yes. Before I get started with anything, I want to say we're all with Palestine. Limitless Learning stands with Palestine. It's something very simple and very straightforward. I'm not going to get into the details, but yes, we do stand with Palestine and we pray that things get better. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. We have a few people coming in and on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. مرحبا بكم. So the purpose of today's live is to have a Q&A with Dr. Amina Douidi about our upcoming English as medium of instruction for university professors. اللي راح يبدأ le 3 novembre 2023 inshallah, which is in a few days and next week inshallah. So the goal is to answer any questions you might have. But before that, I'm just going to do a quick introduction about Limitless Learning, about myself, about our upcoming courses. Then I will introduce Dr. Amina Douidi, our expert, and then we'll open the floor for questions. Okay, so Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Dr. Sosan Shiddadi. I am the co-founder and CEO at Limitless Learning. I am a former Fulbrighter. I have a PhD in American Studies from the University of Kansas. I am an educator, the EI practitioner, which means diversity, equity, and inclusion, and an LMS expert, learning management system expert. As I mentioned earlier, today we're going to be talking about the Q&A, answering any questions you might have about the upcoming course that Dr. Amina Douidi, which will start, inshallah, in November 3rd, 2023. And we have a special offer if you sign up before October 30th. Donc, مازالكم quelques jours باش تسجلوا الأساتذة الجامعة اللي يحبوا يتعلموا كيفاش يقرأوا en anglais. So what is Limitless Learning? الناس اللي راهم جدد they are just joining us today and do not know about Limitless Learning. We are an e-learning platform which provides professionals, students, companies, and universities in Algeria with world-class hands-on training in the fields of technology, communication, and diversity and inclusion. If you have more questions, you can go to beyondlearning.edu.dz and you will find our website with all the details. We have learners across 10 countries and instructors across 3 continents, which is very, very impressive. And we are happy to welcome more people from around the world. So we have exciting upcoming courses here that will be inshallah November, December, Janvier, Février till March 2024. So the first one, which will start inshallah November, is English for University Professors, English as medium of instruction for university professors. Donc on فهمكم c'est quoi la différence between conversational English and English as medium of instruction, because these are different. بعد عندنا conversational English في ديسمبر إن شاء الله مع الأستاذة سهام روابح. We have deep learning and machine learning with الأستاذة Dr. Hajar Ben Mizian, starting also November 2nd, 2023. Python and data science will be starting again January and February. AI foundations and generative AI. So very, very exciting upcoming courses. I just want to remind everyone our AI learning path here. For those of you who are interested in just pursuing the whole AI learning path, الناس اللي قراو ديجا Python programming and data science في سبتمبر أكتوبر and قراو ديجا AI foundations, now is a good time to do advanced machine learning, also starting next week, and then deep learning with Dr. Hajar Ben Mizian. You have a combo. I'm going to put the link here. Donc pour les deux cours, عندكم 4 semaines machine learning and then 8 semaines intensif تاع deep learning, 12 semaines كل شيء intensif, is going to be 40,000 dinars, which is an amazing price for a combo like this one. If you are a Limitless Learning alumni, you get an extra 10% discount. And then for the more advanced courses and the generative AI with Dr. Fouad post one, inshallah, it's going to be, we're shooting for spring. So this date is still tentative until inshallah we have more specific dates based on what the people want to start with. Okay. Excuse me. So at the end of every training you do with us, كي تكملوا n'importe quelle formation اللي ديروها معنا, you will get a Limitless Learning Certificate of Completion. We are very proud that we are working with le ministère تاع la formation continue في الجزائر, so le certificat تاعكم راح يكون reconnu en Algérie. And of course, if you're doing the AI path here, you will get the Intel certification for AI, artificial intelligence learning path. Everything we use here will be on the Google platform. So you will just need to create a free Gmail account, and then we will be using Google Meet for our meetings and calls and talks, and any class you will be having with the teacher. You will have all the reminders on Google Calendar, and then all the course content will be on Google Classroom. Of course, if you have any questions, you can use Google Chat. We highly recommend that you attend the live sessions, especially في les cours تاع l'anglais. لازم تحضروا مع الأستاذ ولا الأستاذة, so you have a chance to really talk to your teacher, so he will have the chance to help you improve whatever topic you are trying to learn or perfect. At Limitless Learning, we have a big advantage of high quality content. So it's not just like any free content you find online. It's tailored to your specific needs. We have expert instructions like our expert here, Dr. Amina Douidi, whom we thank again for joining our team a few months ago. You will have the ability to ask questions, which is amazing because you are talking to a live person. It's not just something recorded ومن بعد تلاقوا تفرجوا la video وحدكم ومن بعد you ask questions. So you can ask questions live. You have interactive and personalized learning, and immediate feedback if you need feedback. And lastly, you have a chance to network. As I said, you have people from all over the world, so it's a great opportunity to network with Algerian experts from all over the world. So moving on, before asking your questions, and I see a lot of questions here in the chat. Thank you, guys. Before moving on to your questions, let me just tell you a little bit more about English as a medium of instruction. So this course is specifically, هذا le cours, c'est pour les الناس اللي راهم يقريو في الجامعة, que ce soit les profs, les doctorants ولا les assistants اللي راهم يقريو في الجامعة في الجزائر ولا ailleurs. هذا le cours راح يكون 4 semaines intensif, معناتها تقراو 2 fois par semaine. It's a 4 weeks intensive course designed to help higher education lecturers in Algeria integrate English in their teaching practice. Participants will learn about different theories, pedagogies, and strategies necessary to create an effective learning environment where English is the medium of instruction, which we call EMI. So here are the course objectives. Dr. Amina Douidi maybe can take a chance later to, we'll have a chance to talk a little bit more about these. I can go back to this slide, Amina, or maybe you have a different slide you'd like to share. But basically, these are the course objectives and everything is on the website. So the course schedule. So inshallah, as I said, it will start in November, on November 3rd. It will be 2 hours for every class. So تقرأوا pendant 2 heures, twice a week, for 4 weeks. Donc total راح يكونوا عندكم 8 séances. Les jours, احنا حطينا Fridays and Mondays, but I'm gonna check again with Dr. Douidi, and then I'll also check with you guys to see what time works best. But usually these are the days that work for everyone. And then عندنا ça va être de 20h à 22h Algeria time. How much does it cost? So the cost of the course is 39,900 dinars, but if you register before October 30th, it will be 29,900. Donc 29,900, عندكم 10,000 dinars de remise if you register before before le 30 octobre 2023, inshallah. You can pay through CCP, credit card, debit card, or PayPal. And then we have one more special offer. I like to group the offers based on the field. So if you do English as medium of instruction plus conversational English راح يبدأ في December, you will get an extra 4,000 dinars off for both classes. So 29,900 plus 25,900, which is also a great opportunity for everyone to learn English as medium of instruction and then conversational English. So now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our expert here, Dr. Amina Douidi. She is a diversity, equity, and inclusion and intercultural communication consultant in English language teaching. She holds a PhD in modern language and applied linguistics from the University of Southampton in the UK, and a joint MA in ELT from Tlemcen University in Algeria, and University of Balearic Islands in Spain. She is a DEI reviewer for ELT publishers and teaches pre-sessional English for academic purposes at UK higher education institutions. She is an associate fellow of advanced higher education and acts as a co-editor of the TESOL ICIS newsletter. She's championing contributions of teachers and researchers from the global majority. If you don't follow her on LinkedIn and on Facebook, I highly, highly recommend you do so. Just type her name, because you will learn so much about what she's doing, but also her specific approach to Algeria and Algerian transition to English as a medium of instruction. So welcome, Amina. Thank you so much for being here. And if you'd like to add something, we would love to hear about it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be doing this live with you and answering the questions of the people following us. This course would be our third one together. We have run already one course over the summer, 2 courses actually over the summer, where we had different students who are university lecturers. A lot of them come from faculties such as the medicine school or information technology school, mathematics, biology, architecture. We had a lot of mathematicians and information technologies experts join us for the course, and all of them have been having a very positive attitude to using English in their university teaching. So it made it easy for me to convince them to integrate English in many creative ways. And it was a real learning experience for me as well. They've been very generous with their feedback, and they've been very also generous with their wisdom and their knowledge, which made me a better person, I guess. So it's with a lot of joy and excitement that I will be, running this course again. So I'm quite looking forward to the people who will be applying and the ones you will be discussing with the course. If you'd like me to maybe present the course and what it is about, I would love to share my screen.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right.
Amina, thank you so much. I was just sharing the slide from the website directly, but actually your presentation would be better. Let's see.
Okay. So can I just confirm that you can see my screen?
I do. Let me just add it to the stage. Yes.
Here we go. So you've asked me to do a summary about what's the course not about and what's the course is about. So I've put it simply this way, and I would like to go through the different, maybe points regarding what's the course not about. So this is not a course about English or of English, or where you will be learning grammar, or this is not an English class. This is not a class where you will discuss different topics we usually find in general English classes. I will not be a language instructor. I will give you feedback on your language if you ask me to, but I will not be correcting systematically everything you say, because the purpose of this course is to use English in order to achieve certain learning outcomes that are not necessarily linguistic. Although some of the bioproducts, some of the benefits of being part of this type of course where the focus is not the language, is that you will feel much more comfortable and confident with the use of your English in a professional setting. We have actually a testimonial that one of our students have shared with us. Sosan, if you remember, one of our students didn't think that they could watch TV shows in English without subtitles. And by the end of the course, they were confidently turning on their TV and watching their favorite shows in English without subtitles. It wasn't one of their goals. It wasn't something that I designed to be an objective of the course, but it was a nice byproduct that came up of this experience. So if you join us for this course, please do not expect me to teach you English, and do not expect me to focus on language and grammar. Although, because of my training as a linguist and an applied linguist, I do provide information that are informed by my background, linguistic background. However, it's not the focus of this course.
Very well put. Thank you, Amina.
All right, so the second point is in green, and it is about what the course is about. It is a discussion forum, a professional forum to discuss attitudes towards English as a medium of instruction in the context of Algeria, but also English as a medium of instruction around the world, and how it is understood and how it is practiced around the world. So we will do a lot of discussion, especially at the beginning of the course. The first two sessions, you will be invited to share your experience when you experience teaching. You will be also encouraged to use English while talking about your experience. And then you can be also, by doing that and listening to your colleagues, you will be critically evaluating different teaching approaches and approaches to English as a medium of instruction. So you mentioned networking, Sosan. This is a very good opportunity to learn from each other, especially the first few sessions. So I do not do all of the speaking. I do not lecture. However, the way I design my sessions is by listening to you, and then you listening to each other, and then offering critical opportunities to look at the resources that I will be sharing and then evaluate them from a critical perspective. So this is not a lecture. This is more of a seminar. It's more of a forum for us to critically evaluate our own practices. The third most important point, I guess, of the course, which happens around the third session, is the focus on pedagogy. So what we will do is reflect on our own approaches to teaching, our own ways of teaching, and then look at how is pedagogy understood from internationally. And that's where we will have practical activities. You will be invited to follow a framework that I will present to you in order for you to teach. And we have sessions of micro teaching. Depending on the size of the group, then we will decide how long the teaching will take place, for how long, and if you do it individually or if you do it by group, as a group. So this is briefly what's the course not about and what's the course about. Is there anything, Susan, that we can see in the chat? Maybe if we have any questions, please let me know, because I'm focused on the screen.
Sure. So far, it's mostly like general questions. I want to learn English. Yes. Yeah. So
Fair.
yeah, you can
Fair
maybe
enough.
you can finish and then we can just get more questions. Hopefully,
Sure.
more pertinent questions. Thank you.
No worries. So it is an 8 sessions course, and these 8 sessions are divided in different modules, and these modules have different focuses. So the first focus is attitudes towards EMI. We have a lot of emotional connection to Algerian language policy and to Algerian educational and higher education policies. So it's from the start we will discuss these emotions and attitudes and maybe these rationalities that we have regarding the Algerian decision to start implementing English as a medium of instruction. And this is where we look at, we learn from each other how each of your different departments are approaching this policy of EMI. So this is the first session. It's called EMI and attitudes, basically beliefs and attitudes towards EMI. Then we will talk about the different challenges and opportunities that EMI offers, and that would be in the first session. Then we move to pedagogy and discuss how EMI is. The first session is of the second module is about how EMI is implemented in different parts of the world, and this is where we discuss key concepts related to the concept of EMI. Then we will look at certain strategies, pedagogical ones, a framework, I would say, that you could follow in order for you to start including English in your teaching. And then we will do the micro teaching, where you will apply the course's input, the course's information. You will apply them in your teaching. We will also talk about how you can use technology to help you integrate English in your teaching. We will talk about aspects of internationalization, of diversity, equity, and inclusion in Algerian higher education. And then the last session will be about continuous professional development and how you can carry on your experience with English outside of this course when you finish this course. So to sum up, again, this course is 8-week sessions. For each session, we have different focus. The first focus is EMI and language attitudes in Algeria and around the world. The second focus is EMI and pedagogy, and this one takes either 2 to 3 sessions, depending on your own needs. We will also talk about EMI and the use of technology to help you integrate English into your teaching. And then finally, we will talk about continuous professional development and how you can use this opportunity, which is English as a medium of instruction, to be more inclusive in your teaching and maybe create more opportunities for yourself and for your students. So yes.
Very important, especially that last point. I feel like it's not given enough credit or importance in many countries, not just Algeria. And being able to use or talk about and understand the importance of the diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Algerian context, I emphasize this part because we're not just importing ideas from the West and applying them to Algeria as if it was an empty canvas to paint on, but it is very adapted to the Algerian context. But thank you so much, Amina. This is very insightful. I've heard this presentation before, but I'm always inspired every time I hear it. This is such important work. And I am one of the biggest, fans of this course. It's eye-opening how the way you teach cannot just influence your own, your own teaching experience over time. It's also how you can change people's life, how you can change people's perception of a specific topic, of how they understand and how they apply it. It's very important to just give you guys, teachers out there, educators in general, we give you we want to recognize your efforts in trying to educate a whole generation of engineers, of doctors, of whatever your field is, and you're out there doing your best. But when you have the right tools, use an EMI course like this one, you're going to be even better at fulfilling your mission. Thank you so much, Amina.
We're very lucky to be able to accompany these professors in their mission, and then also to support them in this transition, which can be nerve-wracking for a lot of them. Change is resisted most of the time, and sometimes it is embraced, but it's not a comfortable experience for a lot of people. So I'm really happy that we are doing this to support these university lecturers in this transition.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So basically الناس اللي راهم خايفين باش يبداو يقراو انجلي، يعني نهضر لكم بالعربيه so everyone can get this point. Be assured that we are here and هنا باش نعاونوكم في la transition هذه. Surtout الناس اللي راهم vous avez toujours été des francophones, especially those from previous generations. Maybe they are much more comfortable teaching and studying and researching in French. This is a great course for you because you will be able to easily transition into English without having the burden and the stress to actually, I have to do it in English, right? So you will need English classes. لازم تقرا l'anglais on the side. You have to take English. This is a given, but this is a tool to help you teach in English. So let me get one question. It's more of a statement, actually. For some reason, we can't see the comments from LinkedIn, but these are actually very interesting ones. So Khoujiya, I actually had the chance to meet Khoujiya in Betna a couple of years ago. Thank you for commenting and thank you for following us, Khoujiya. So she's saying, good evening, ladies, sharing the good news. We're teaching in English this year officially at the National College of Statistics and Applied Economics. I think this is l'École supérieure des statistiques في القلاع. I think that's what she's referring to. And they're officially going to be teaching in English. So I know Khoujiya defended her PhD a couple of years ago. And this is a great opportunity for you, Khoujiya, to, take this course and be the best teacher out there when it comes to using English. And if I remember correctly, her English is very good. So having a good English is a plus, but not a requirement.
I salute all those teachers who've already started teaching in English. And actually what makes this different, what makes this cohort different is that we are at the start of the academic year and they have already started teaching. So it's different from the groups that we had over the summer who did not necessarily have a clear idea of what their school was requiring, what their different departments are requiring. So just working with this last group, I learned there are some departments that refused completely to integrate English. There are others that ask the university lecturers to translate their slides and their PowerPoints from French to English, but to teach and do the instruction in Arabic. And this is one version of doing EMI. There is another way of doing EMI, which is where you would have PowerPoints that are in English, the presentation and the speaking and the explaining is in Arabic, French, English, and whichever language the teacher is comfortable using. There are different ways of integrating English. There is no right or wrong way of integrating English in your teaching. And that's what the research shows. And this is one of the things that we will be discussing actually in class. For those who want to use this opportunity to change the way they teach, then this class is for them. Because if you continue teaching the same way you were doing for years, and the only thing new you will be changing is the language, I don't think that you are using this opportunity fully. However, if you come into my course and then you look at the way I approach pedagogy, you will see very efficient ways for you to improve your teaching practices if you feel they need improving. Maybe get more creative with your teaching and get excited about teaching in English. And at the same time, English will naturally get integrated, not in a forceful way, but rather get naturally integrated in your practice. So the idea here is that you will come into the course, you will talk about your way of doing things. I will tell you about my way of doing things, and your colleagues as well will share with you how they do things. And then you pick and choose and see what works for you. But then rest assured, when you finish the course, you will feel much more confident in your integration of English in your teaching than maybe if you were before.
Thank you so much, Amina. And actually, حاجة تعلمتها مع Dr. Amina Douidi, although we come from very similar backgrounds, majoring in English, I did not know that EMI could be implemented in different ways. In the sense that c'est flexible, c'est pas quelque chose de rigide, in a sense where, okay, you have to start teaching English from A to Z, تبدا تهضر بالانجلي مع les étudiants تاعك ملي تدخل حتى تخرج. This is impossible, even for someone who actually speaks very good English, right? So it comes in very different degrees, I guess, of integrating English. And from attending some of Amina's classes, I realized that it is a process, it's a transition. And Algeria is at the first, not even step one, this is step 0. In my opinion, this is step 0 where we are just starting to transition. La rentrée هذه 2023, and then hopefully la rentrée 2024 will be better, et 2025, etc. So before I get to Adam's question, which is a very good one, Rizlan Douidi is saying hi. Same last name, so probably someone you know.
This is my younger sister. She's my biggest fan, and I'm a big fan of her as well.
Amina, you are the best. I think so. Thank you, Rizlan, for being a cheering sister, little sister. Sisters are the best.
When I was doing the research before designing this course, and I was doing the research about the needs of university lecturers, I asked my sister Rizlan to do some ground investigation for me. So she approached her architecture teachers at university and asked them about what they feel this whole English transition will be like. And I had the chance to hear from them and from their own experience, and it informed a lot the way I designed this course, because I always do it by analyzing needs and assessing needs and wants. And she was an investigator in this process of needs analysis. So I'm grateful for her support.
Thank you, Rizlan, for being a big part of advancing higher education in Algeria with the help of our expert here, Amina. So Adam is saying, very good point here, and I totally agree with him. So the hard part is to use English language and make mistakes in front of a generation that is good at it. It's kind of hard. What do you think, Amina?
I did a chemistry degree at university when I first had my first baccalaureate. I studied chemistry, and chemistry is and used to be taught in French, and my French was pretty good. Now it's not that good because English took over, but I had a very good mastery of the French language. And I attended the first few classes and started judging my teachers. Each time they would do a mistake, I would be either, in a snarky way, chatting with my colleagues, making comments about their language mistakes. But at the end of the year, I didn't get the grades, I didn't understand the subject, and I didn't really, put in the scientific effort into the fulfillment of that degree. And I feel ashamed of how judgy I was. I think whether they speak in English, in Arabic, or in French, the younger generation will be as judgy as we were. And I don't think it will, and this part of being harsh on our lectures, I don't think it will change. But I do understand, being a lecturer now and a teacher, I do understand the anxiety that comes with being in front of an audience that is more knowledgeable than you.
Yeah. I was gonna say anxiety. I wasn't sure you were gonna use that word, but it is so correct. Like when you stand in front of people, especially when English is not your first language. But I know people whose English is their first language. They still stress out and have anxiety when standing in front of others. One very simple thing is when you start writing on a board. I don't know if it happened to you, Amina, but you start writing on the board, you know the spelling of the word, but somehow you just misspell something on the board and it's so embarrassing. Later, I learned that when you write like this on a paper and you write on the board, you don't use the same part of your brain. So apparently this is why a lot of people make mistakes writing on the board. So it is something that's normal and natural, and we just have to be confident enough to overcome that anxiety. But it is normal. Hakim is saying, do you think that it is possible to actually teach English at the university? Most teachers don't have the ability to communicate in English, let alone students. Changing a teaching language does not come overnight. Thank you, Hakim, for the great question.
I think he already has a position, and he already thinks that it's not very possible, and that it's if we cannot speak it, therefore we cannot teach using it. So the attitude from the question is quite visible. However, by the end of the question, he makes a very strong statement saying that it doesn't happen overnight. And this is what we are preaching here. It's that the integration of English into the teaching will happen progressively. So you may want to start by, changing the language of your PowerPoint, and then the next step for you will use references that are in English. And then the next step, you start integrating few words in English, maybe using key terms in English. And then maybe after a year or two, you will feel confident enough to start communicating, putting full sentences in English, and assessing your students in English. So it doesn't come overnight. Definitely agree with you 100%. And the other point is, this course is not about making you speak in English for 90 minutes during the course, but it's more about making you feel confident going through this process of integration of English.
Thank you so much. Rizdan is saying this is too emotional. Thank you for helping our teachers. Okay, thank you, Rizlan.
Thank you, Rizlan. There was another question.
Yes. So, est-ce que c'est uniquement pour les enseignants universitaires? Saliha is asking.
So we had les enseignants universitaires in our group. We had PhD students who are doing some teaching in their departments join our course. We had new university lecturers who are still at the very early stage of their teaching career. So it's for those who will be teaching at university at some point. I hope this answers her question.
Yes, thank you. Actually, if you remember, we had someone, the very first cohort was teaching, I think, in Qatar. And I think she was not teaching at the university. She was like doing training. So anyone who's basically teaching, it doesn't have to be the university. يعني لكنك تقري pour faire des formations ولا like you're teaching another group of people, you can take this class, because if you need to teach in English, then this course is for you. But the main target is university professors and university lecturers or PhD students teaching at the university, because of the transition to English. So again, ماشي لازم تكون تقري في الجزائر ولا راح تقري في الجامعة في الجزائر. It can be for anyone who would like to teach or train people in English in general. Because one of the big components of Amina's class is that you will actually learn how to design a successful, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lesson plan.
Lesson plan and pedagogically, sound lesson plan, because really it's important that we meet those requirements, those learning objectives of our learners. And I've learned quite a bit since I started Limitless Learning on how kind of the Algerian market is different when it comes to designing learning objectives, condensing content, the difference between humanities and non-humanities. It's a big field. Some people specialize in that. So very important field and very important skill to have in any field that you're pursuing. Adam is asking, is this course for tech professors or general course?
I think this is for university lecturers in general. Even if you are a lecturer who teach English, you are welcome to join the course. However, you might want to you will need to be aware that the language proficiency of those who take the course is not as advanced as the language proficiency of some teachers of English. So it is for lecturers, tech professors, even sciences exactes, sciences humaines. We have people from sociology department. We have people from the humanities department who teach in different languages. We have people from the psychology department as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Thank you, Amina. It was very interesting to see how Amina's syllabus or Amina's course design was so applicable to different fields. It's amazing. It's very powerful because you can learn something, and having a group of different fields was very the dynamic was amazing. Like people were learning from each other. It was very nice because you get people like who are doctors, people who are psychologists, people who are in humanities learning from the same course. This is very powerful. So Hakim is asking, I am an English language teacher at a secondary school, which means high school, I'm guessing. But I'm actually interested in programming and web development. I had many courses online, especially in Python and JavaScript languages. Hakim, if you are interested to take any upcoming courses in AI, we have an upcoming machine learning, advanced machine learning and deep learning course if you have some basics. I'm going to put the link here. You're more than welcome to join us. It also starts on November 2nd, I believe. Let me check. So the first weekend, November 4th. So next Saturday, inshallah. So Amina's class starts on the 3rd and Hajar's class starts on the 4th. You're more than welcome to join. I'm going to post the link. Okay, so Amira is saying, I'm so proud of you. Amira Jerida is saying, I'm so proud of you. Bonne continuation à vous. Thank you so much, Amira. This is very nice of you. Always good to see positive people, positive comments. Nordin Hamdad is saying, good evening, everyone on LinkedIn. Hello, Nordin, marhaba. So let's see. Où êtes-vous localisé? We are an e-learning platform. Nous sommes une plateforme d'apprentissage en ligne, Amira, and everything is done online. The classes are online. The team is all over the world. I am the co-founder. I am based in California. We have teachers. Amina is based in the UK. So we have people from all over the world, and this is the beauty of online learning. Okay. Any more questions? Amira, if you have any more questions about the course, let us know. I'm going to put this back on here. So we see the course objectives that English as medium of instruction for university professors.
Just to linking back to one of the questions that was asked, whether this course is for university lecturers or for anyone. In the first cohort, we had someone who taught at high school and at university at the same time. So she was teaching French, I think, at high school, and at university. Right. At university, she was teaching biology, I think, and she found the discussions we had. She found them applicable for both her secondary school teaching and for her university teaching. So I think that this course is definitely for university lecturers who want to integrate English. But then if you maybe come from a certain teaching environment and you want to move to university teaching, then this course might be helpful for you as well.
Thank you, Amina. I'm posting links of different courses here. But thank you for sharing that. It is true that we had people from different backgrounds and who are able to benefit from it, especially those who are learning, who are teaching at the lycée or any other institution. It has been very helpful. So Amira is saying, I am a computer vision and AI, and I hope to improve my level. I think she means improve my level. Yes, Amira, you're more than welcome to come. We have an upcoming deep learning and advanced machine learning course. But again, if you are planning to be teaching at some point in your career, or if you are a PhD student or if you're a PhD student, then this course is great for you because you will be able to learn how to teach in English, and the transition is happening in Algeria. Let's see. Do we have any more questions? Okay. Any more questions? We have a few more minutes for you guys. Our expert can answer any questions you might have for the next few minutes. Any questions about upcoming courses, about English as medium of instruction for university professors? Let me check LinkedIn because it's not posting for some reason. It's not posting the comments here on the StreamYard.
So in the meantime, I can maybe go back to the course objectives. We have different objectives. They vary in importance. The first two sessions are about the discussion around EMI, what it is, how is it applied in different parts of the world, and how you as a teacher think you could be applying it. So this is where the discussion happens. Some people like the discussion part of it, some people less so. So it's something that we can discuss at the beginning, and you can tell me what kind of teaching styles you're comfortable with, and I will adapt my teaching style based on your needs. The second part of the course focuses on pedagogy, and the principle is pretty simple, which is basically you are not expected to be teaching the same way in French and in English. So if you've been teaching in French, where you've been the main speaker of your classroom, of science classroom, for example, for 45 minutes, you're the only one speaking, you're the only one explaining, and you designed your lesson this way, where you are the main actor of the session, then it's normal that you get quite scared or nervous at doing the exact same thing in English. So if your teaching style is to talk for 45 minutes in French or in Arabic, and then you think that by transitioning to English you will need to do 45 minutes in English, then it naturally would make you nervous, and especially if you don't have much opportunities to practice your English. So my recommendation and suggestion in the course is that reviewing your teaching plan and your lesson plan and the way you design your session to include English strategically is the way forward. And this is how you can progressively use English into the classroom. During our pedagogy discussions, we will talk about different activities you could be using and how you could design activities to help you achieve your goals. We'll also talk about how you can rely on technology to help you transition and progressively include English. And the final part of the course focuses on how you can be more inclusive in your teaching and use the English, use EMI as an excuse to maybe be more equitable in your way of designing and your way of teaching.
Thank you so much, Amina. This is it's very, very helpful. I liked when you said using English or including English strategically. That's a very smart way to kind of like use English without really like trying too hard, right? Just like be in an environment that speaks English, which is lacking in Algeria, and be able to speak with experts, not just anyone, I think is an amazing opportunity for everyone. Okay, any more questions for our expert here? We want to be mindful of everyone's time. I wanted this to be a short Q&A anyway. We're actually almost to an hour, but still, do you guys have any more questions? Est-ce que ما زالوا عندكم des questions pour moi ou là pour Dr. Amina Douidi? Okay, so Hakim is saying, why not open private school in Algeria and provide English native speakers? I guess being in front of a native speaker motivates the learners to do their best. Learners lack interaction with natives. Do you want to take this one, Amina?
I think, Hakim, if you were speaking about French, you would not say it this way. You would not glorify native speakers of French. We don't learn French in Algeria by speaking à des Français ou à des Canadiens. And I think the colonial history of Algeria makes it very difficult for us to be comfortable with the idea of glorification du français, qui parle le bon français, avec qui je peux développer un bon français. And because we have this pride, on a cette fierté d'Algérien, then we will never, feel that this sentence would apply in French. Why am I doing the comparison? Because we don't have a direct colonial experience with English. And with the English and with the US, so we feel more distance towards them, and it suddenly becomes not problematic at all to speak about this ideal native speaker who will make me more fluent, and just by existing or by teaching or by listening, by me listening to them. So this mythical, the myth of the native speaker is very problematic in the context of English language teaching. So why am I speaking about French is just to make you aware of how problematic the idealization of the native speaker is. So to answer your question, I am not a big fan of native speakers. And the world population that speaks English who is not based in the US and the UK, or from the US or from the UK or Australia or New Zealand, or the inner circle, as we call it in my field of work, is higher, bigger, wider, more diverse. and you're more likely to collaborate on a university project with someone who comes from China or someone who comes from India than someone who's British or American, US American. So I raised my case.
I love that. Thank you so much. This is why I asked you to take this question, because I knew you would have an insightful answer. I knew you would have a out of the box answer. I love that. Yes, but basically, I believe there are private schools in Algiers who offer native speaker, English classes. You're more than welcome to take them. But again, the EMI class is not an English class, and it will really offer you a completely different perspective on. I don't believe this class is offered anywhere else in Algeria, so it's a first. We are offering this. We're pioneers in this, and Amina is an expert who will be giving you her best. I know that because I've witnessed her teaching, and I've seen the passion behind her mission to provide high quality training, high quality education to her trainees and her students in general. And we're very lucky to have her, and you will be very lucky to take her course if you decide to do so. Again, I posted the links for you guys so you can sign up. I'm going to post a couple more links, but I feel like we have covered most of the questions. If there are any more questions, we can take one more question and then we're going to close. If not, we thank you so much for your time. And I thank you, Amina, so much for your time and effort in providing us with insightful, not just course objectives detailed, but also insightful answers and philosophical approaches to what we think, is ideal versus how we can just change our perspective towards English acquisition in general.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is a real opportunity for me to exchange with Algerian scholars and learn from them as well. I hope that many of them will sign up and I will have the opportunity to work with them more closely. So thank you, Sosan, for this platform.
You are welcome, Amina. Thank you so much for being with us. I think we're just going to close. Let me post one last link. So for you guys who are interested to take the IELTS prep exam, is also going to be in December, inshallah. So IELTS prep is going to be 15 days intensive with Dr. Siham Rouabeh. If you are planning to take your IELTS academic for taking graduate class in the UK, the US, or elsewhere, or if you are planning to immigrate to Canada, for example, they ask for the IELTS General. We offer both. We will prepare you for both, and it will be 15 days. Donc, chaque jour تقرأوا 15 يوم. Chaque jour ورا بعضهم. It will start in December, inshallah. 15 days intensive. Okay, starting December. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Amina. Thanks for those who have asked questions and who have interacted with us. It has been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to serve you as the e-learning platform, the #1 e-learning platform in Algeria for our dear Algerian learners. Thank you, guys.
Bye. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Salama.